Welcome to World Information HD, your ultimate destination for discovering hidden treasures and unbelievable facts about rare coins. In today's video, we're diving into the top 10 most valuable and rare USA Jefferson nickel Monticello 5-cent coins that could be worth millions of dollars. These small pieces of change might look ordinary, but their value will leave you speechless. Stay tuned till the end. You might just find one of these treasures hiding in your pocket. In the world of coin collecting, every once in a while, a coin emerges that tells a story far beyond its face value, a story of history, craftsmanship, rarity, and mystery. Among these fascinating pieces lies a coin that many overlook in their pocket change, the United States of America 1958 no-mint Mark Jefferson nickel, a 5-cent coin that hides an extraordinary potential value. At first glance, it looks ordinary, even unremarkable. But beneath its nickel-gray surface lies a tale that captivates collectors and historians alike. The Jefferson nickel has been a part of American history since 1938, replacing the beloved Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, its obverse proudly features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, and one of the founding fathers of the nation. On the reverse, we see Jefferson's iconic home, Monticello, a neoclassical masterpiece located in Charlottesville, Virginia. The 1958 Jefferson nickel continues this design, but something about this particular year makes it special. To understand the significance of the 1958 no-mint Mark Jefferson nickel, we must first journey back to the 1950s, a time when America was booming economically, families were thriving in post-war prosperity, and coins were changing hands daily in bustling cities and small towns alike. In 1958, the Philadelphia Mint was the only facility producing Jefferson nickels without a mint mark. That small detail, or rather the lack of one, becomes a key factor in identifying this piece. The Philadelphia Mint struck tens of millions of Jefferson nickels in 1958, but not all were made equal. Subtle differences, die varieties, striking errors, and condition grades make some examples far more valuable than others. To most people, it's just a nickel, worth 5 cents. But to collectors, a well-preserved example can be worth a fortune. And in the numismatic world, the details matter. Let's take a closer look at this coin. On the obverse side, Jefferson's portrait is clean and sharply detailed, with his hair tied back in a classical style. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," flank the portrait, along with the year, 1958. On the reverse, Monticello's architectural precision stands out, along with the words, "E pluribus unum, Monticello, 5 cents," and "United States of America." When fully struck, these details exhibit crisp lines and well-defined lettering. However, many coins from that year were weakly struck, especially around Monticello's steps. Collectors call it full steps, when all 6 steps of Monticello appear clearly defined. Only a small fraction of the 1958 no-mint Mark nickels achieved that level of striking quality, and that makes them extremely valuable. Now, what makes this coin so intriguing is how condition dramatically impacts its value. In circulated condition, meaning it has been used in everyday transactions, it may only fetch a few cents above face value. But in uncirculated grades, such as mint state 65 or higher, the coin becomes a collector's gem. The highest grade examples, with brilliant luster, no contact marks, and full strike details, can command astonishing sums at auction. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that once bought candy or a newspaper in 1958, yet today could be worth thousands of dollars simply because of how well it was preserved. That's the magic of numismatics, turning ordinary change into extraordinary treasure. There's also something poetic about the Jefferson nickel's design lasting so long. Since 1938, it has symbolized both American history and progress. Jefferson was a visionary, a man who helped craft the Declaration of Independence, and Monticello was his lifelong dream, a house he designed himself. The coin immortalizes both his face and his legacy, ensuring that every nickel carries a piece of that vision. But let's return to 1958. During that year, the Philadelphia Mint produced around 17 million Jefferson nickels. Not a massive number compared to other years, but enough that the coin isn't considered rare in general circulation. However, collectors discovered that certain examples from that year were struck from fresh, polished dies that produced exceptionally sharp details and mirror-like surfaces. These are called proof-like strikes, even though they were not true proofs. Some of these nickels exhibit a faint reflective shine, catching light in a way that ordinary circulation coins don't. Meanwhile, across the coin collecting community, enthusiasts began to take notice of the 1958 issue. Grading companies such as PCGS and NGC have since certified hundreds of these coins, with only a handful achieving the coveted full steps designation. That makes the coin a target for collectors hunting for perfection, coins that survived untouched for over 6 decades, still gleaming as if freshly minted. Now, you might wonder, how can you identify whether your 1958 Jefferson nickel is valuable? The first step is to check for a mint mark. If there's no letter beneath Monticello, that means it was minted in Philadelphia. Next, examine the condition under good lighting. Look for wear on Jefferson's cheekbone and hair, as well as the sharpness of Monticello's steps. If your coin shows minimal wear and sharp detail, it could be worth grading by a professional service. Coins graded mint state, MS, 65 or higher are highly desirable, and if yours displays full steps, you may possess something extraordinary. Collectors often say that Jefferson nickels are a hidden treasure in the hobby. They're overlooked because they're modern, common, and not made of silver, yet certain dates, like the 1958 no-mint mark, can rival even silver coins in value when in top condition. The market for Jefferson nickels has grown steadily over the years as collectors complete full-date sets, including varieties and die errors. Speaking of errors, there are known die clashes, double dies, and off-center strikes among 1958 nickels. A double die obverse, for example, can show doubling on Jefferson's eye, mouth, or inscriptions like Liberty. Off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing due to misalignment, can also command high premiums depending on how dramatic the error is. Now, picture this: a simple nickel from 1958 that sat forgotten in an old jar, passed through generations, never realizing its hidden potential. Perhaps it was part of someone's daily change, stored away during a time when a loaf of bread cost just a few cents. Decades later, that same coin could spark excitement in an auction room, fetching thousands from eager collectors who understand its rarity and significance. That's the beauty of American coinage. Each piece tells a story. The Jefferson nickel, though humble in value, represents an enduring symbol of America's spirit. It's a tribute to Thomas Jefferson's legacy, to Monticello's architecture, and to the artistry of mid-20th century minting. As you look through your own collection or pocket change, keep an eye out for that 1958 no-mint mark nickel. Examine it carefully. Does it have that sharp strike? Does the Monticello have full steps? Is the luster strong and reflective? If so, you might just be holding a coin that could change your perspective on what small change really means. Coin collecting isn't just about money, it's about preserving pieces of history. Every coin carries a moment frozen in time. And the 1958 Jefferson nickel, with its subtle charm and growing demand among collectors, is a perfect example of how ordinary objects can become extraordinary relics. Throughout the years, people have stumbled upon rare nickels by accident, finding them in old coffee cans, in change drawers, or even in coin rolls from the bank. It's part luck, part curiosity. But what matters most is awareness. When you know what to look for, you open the door to discovering hidden value right in your hands. The Jefferson nickel remains one of America's most beloved coins, durable, artistic, and rich with history. And though millions were minted, only a few have survived in pristine condition, untouched by time. Those few are the crown jewels of the Jefferson series, commanding respect and admiration from collectors worldwide. So, the next time you find a 1958 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark, don't dismiss it. Look closely, because one of those coins, in its finest condition, once astonished the numismatic world when it sold for an incredible price of $73,545. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of American coinage since 1938, featuring one of the most recognizable designs in U.S. history. It's a small coin, only worth 5 cents in face value, but behind that modest denomination lies decades of fascinating history, hidden treasures, and incredible value for certain rare examples. Today, we'll be diving into one of the most talked about nickels among collectors, the 1975 no-mint marked Jefferson nickel, the Monticello 5-cent piece that may appear ordinary to most, but could secretly be worth a fortune if you know what to look for. Before we begin, it's important to understand the background of this coin and why certain years and mint marks make all the difference in determining rarity and value. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the beloved Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, the obverse side features the familiar left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, one of America's founding fathers and the nation's third president. The reverse side displays his famous Virginia home, Monticello, an architectural masterpiece that remains one of the most beautiful and recognizable structures in American history. The 1975 Jefferson nickel may not immediately seem like a special coin at first glance. Millions were minted that year, making it a common sight in circulation. However, the real excitement comes when we talk about the no mint mark variation. Typically, nickels from Philadelphia during that period did not have a mint mark at all, which was standard practice. But what makes some 1975 nickels stand out is the quality of their strike, die errors, and unusual finishes that have caught the attention of collectors around the world. It's worth noting that in 1975, the U.S. Mint produced Jefferson nickels primarily at two major locations: Philadelphia and Denver. The Denver Mint marked its coins with a D mint mark, while the Philadelphia Mint produced coins with no mint mark at all. So, when we refer to a 1975 no mint mark Jefferson nickel, we're talking about one struck in Philadelphia. However, not every 1975 no mint mark nickel is valuable. The key lies in the details. Collectors often look for high-quality examples, those with full steps on Monticello's depiction. This means that the fine details of the steps on the building's front are fully visible and clearly struck, which is rare because the dies used to strike these coins often wore down quickly. A 1975 Jefferson nickel with strong details, clean surfaces, and full steps can command a premium far beyond its face value. Now let's talk about the design details that make this coin truly remarkable. On the obverse, Jefferson's portrait is crisp, dignified, and framed by the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," on the left, and "Liberty," along with the year 1975, on the right. The reverse showcases Monticello, Jefferson's home, with the word Monticello directly beneath it. Below that are the words 5 cents and United States of America. Around the top edge, we see the nation's guiding motto, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. Every small detail matters to collectors. The spacing between the letters, the sharpness of Jefferson's hair, and even the texture of the fields, all play a role in determining a coin's overall grade and value. When grading agencies like PCGS or NGC evaluate coins, they look at every element of the design to assign a grade ranging from circulated condition to mint state perfection. Now, while most 1975 nickels are common and found in pocket change, some have unique characteristics. Over the years, a few extraordinary examples have been discovered with die cracks, off-center strikes, double dies, and other minting anomalies. These errors can dramatically increase a coin's value because they are one-of-a-kind mistakes created during production. For instance, a 1975 nickel showing clear doubling in the inscriptions or Monticello's steps can attract serious attention at coin auctions. There's also the matter of preservation. Most nickels spend years circulating in the economy, suffering scratches, wear, and damage. But a small percentage of them, known as mint state examples, survived in pristine condition, perhaps saved by collectors at the time or forgotten in rolls of uncirculated coins. These high-grade specimens often fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars when graded and authenticated. To put it simply, condition is king in the coin world. A 1975 no-mint marked Jefferson nickel that looks ordinary to the untrained eye could actually be a hidden gem if it exhibits exceptional luster, sharp detail, and minimal wear. Coin enthusiasts often use magnifying glasses or microscopes to inspect tiny details like the edges of the steps on Monticello or faint doubling in the lettering, clues that separate the valuable coins from the ordinary ones. Now, let's imagine you're searching through your coin collection or even your spare change. You come across a 1975 nickel with no mint mark. The first thing to do is examine the coin under good lighting. Check Jefferson's cheek and jawline for wear. Look at Monticello's front. Can you see all 6 steps clearly? If you can, you may have something truly special. Another aspect to consider is toning. Over time, certain nickels develop a beautiful rainbow or golden hue due to natural oxidation of the metal. While some collectors prefer a bright, shiny surface, others are willing to pay a premium for coins with attractive, colorful toning that gives them character and uniqueness. Auction records show that over the years, some seemingly common Jefferson nickels have sold for staggering prices because of their exceptional condition or rarity. For instance, coins with full steps in mint state condition, especially graded MS66 or higher, are incredibly scarce. The combination of sharp strike, pristine preservation, and strong visual appeal makes them treasures in the eyes of numismatists. Beyond just the value, there's something truly captivating about holding a piece of American history in your hand. The Jefferson nickel has survived wars, recessions, and decades of cultural change. Each coin tells a story of the era it was minted in. The 1975 edition, coming right in the middle of a turbulent decade marked by political change and economic struggle, serves as a tangible reminder of America's resilience and evolution. Now, why does this particular year, 1975, attract such interest among collectors? It's because of its timing right before a major U.S. mint change. The following year, in 1976, the United States celebrated its bicentennial, producing special commemorative designs for quarters, half dollars, and dollars. Even though the nickel's design did not change, 1975 coins became symbolic of the period just before that patriotic celebration, making them historically appealing to collectors who value transitional issues. Over the decades, coin grading and collecting have become more sophisticated, with collectors using advanced technologies and digital databases to track known varieties and sales. The 1975 Jefferson nickel continues to hold a special place in that list, as more collectors discover subtle varieties and hidden errors that had previously gone unnoticed. If you think about it, it's amazing how something as small as a 5-cent piece can hold stories of craftsmanship, history, and hidden fortune. That's the beauty of numismatics. It transforms ordinary pocket change into windows of the past, filled with mystery and potential value. For anyone hoping to identify valuable nickels, it's worth learning to recognize key signs: full steps, clean fields, no signs of wear, and unique die varieties. These characteristics can turn a 5-cent coin into a high-value collectible. Many professional collectors have stories of finding valuable coins in the most unexpected places: a jar of old change, a forgotten drawer, or even in circulation. So next time you find yourself holding a 1975 no-mint marked Jefferson nickel, take a closer look. That simple coin could be far more than just a piece of metal. It could be a rare and remarkable survivor from a bygone era. Examine it carefully, appreciate its artistry, and consider having it graded if it shows exceptional condition. There's always the thrilling possibility that you might be holding one of the rarest examples ever struck, a coin so well preserved, so perfectly detailed, that collectors would compete fiercely to own it. And here's where the story gets truly fascinating: the most pristine, highly graded example of a 1975 no-mint marked Jefferson nickel, with full steps and nearly flawless condition, once sold for an astounding amount. In a major coin auction, this tiny piece of American history reached a value that would leave most people speechless. The final recorded price for this exceptional coin was $56,355. In the world of American coin collecting, few pieces capture as much curiosity and fascination as the Jefferson nickel, a coin that has stood the test of time since its debut in 1938. Today, we're diving into one of the lesser-known yet surprisingly valuable coins that has stirred interest among collectors and enthusiasts alike: the 1977 D mint marked Jefferson nickel, minted in Denver. At first glance, It looks like any ordinary nickel you might find in your change jar or pocket, but appearances can be deceiving. Hidden in its metallic shine could be a story of rarity, minting errors, an untold value that makes this coin worth far more than its face value of just 5 cents. Let's travel back to 1977, a year when the United States was recovering from a changing economy and the bicentennial celebration buzz was still fresh. The Denver Mint, one of the most productive mints in the nation, struck millions of coins that year, including the Jefferson nickel. These coins were part of everyday life, used in gas stations, diners, and candy shops. However, among the millions produced, a handful came out with special characteristics that make them highly collectible today. The 1977 Jefferson nickel carries a story etched into its copper-nickel surface, a story that only a few sharp-eyed collectors have managed to uncover. Each Jefferson nickel features the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and author of the Declaration of Independence. The front of the coin, known as the obverse, shows Jefferson's left-facing profile, with the word Liberty and the year 1977 inscribed beside his face. Just below the year, the small D mint mark can be seen, signifying that this particular coin was minted at the Denver Mint. The reverse side showcases Jefferson's home, Monticello, a structure that has become an enduring symbol of American heritage and architectural brilliance. The details of Monticello, especially the pillars and dome, have always been a focal point for collectors examining the sharpness and quality of the coin's strike. But not all 1977 Jefferson nickels are created equal. In fact, what makes certain pieces so valuable is a combination of minting anomalies, die errors, and preservation quality. Over the decades, experts and coin enthusiasts have identified a few extremely rare versions that stand out due to these fascinating characteristics. One of the most notable factors that increase a coin's value is its condition, or grade. Most 1977 nickels circulated heavily through everyday use, leading to scratches, wear, and fading details. However, a few pieces escaped the harsh realities of circulation and remained in pristine condition, untouched, unblemished, and perfectly struck. Coins like these, when graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC, can reach staggering prices at auction. A 1977 nickel graded in MS67 condition, for example, can fetch several $1,000s due to its near-perfect preservation and the sheer difficulty of finding one so flawless after nearly 5 decades. Then there are the era coins, the real treasures in the numismatic world. Errors occur during the minting process and can result from a variety of issues such as die cracks, misstrikes, double dies, or even off-center impressions. Some 1977 Jefferson nickels have been discovered with die breaks or misaligned strikes that cause Jefferson's portrait or Monticello to appear slightly distorted. Others exhibit doubling on the inscriptions like E pluribus unum or Monticello, which makes them rare and highly desirable among serious collectors. Even subtle differences in metal tone or luster can add intrigue to a coin's story. For example, certain 1977 nickels show unusual coloration caused by variations in the nickel-copper alloy mix during minting. These slight changes can give the coin a unique look, a shimmer or patina that sets it apart from the ordinary circulation pieces. Collectors also pay special attention to the strength of the strike. The Denver Mint was known for producing coins with sharp, detailed strikes in 1977, but a few nickels came out with weaker details on Jefferson's hair or the steps of Monticello. Interestingly, a fully struck Monticello, where all 6 steps are clearly visible, is particularly valuable to numismatists. Finding a 1977 nickel with fully defined steps is no small feat, and coins like that command higher premiums at auctions and in private sales. Over the years, coin experts have documented several instances of 1977 Jefferson nickels selling for surprisingly high amounts. Some of these results are due to grading rarity, while others are because of historical or minting quirks. The value isn't just about the metal, it's about the story, the rarity, and the condition. That's what drives collectors to search tirelessly through rolls of nickels or old jars of change, hoping to uncover that one piece of hidden treasure. But what makes this particular coin truly special is not just its potential errors or its sharp design, it's the connection it holds to American history. The Jefferson nickel represents more than just currency. It's a tribute to one of the nation's founding fathers and a window into the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint. The 1977 D edition carries the essence of the post-Vietnam era, a time of rebuilding and progress, when every coin in circulation was a symbol of economic endurance. Imagine finding one of these coins today, tucked away in a drawer, resting in an old coin album, or hiding in plain sight in your change. That unassuming nickel might look like every other one, but a careful examination under good light could reveal something extraordinary. A sharp portrait, clean luster, no visible wear, or a perfectly defined Monticello, those are the telltale signs that you might have stumbled upon something valuable. For many collectors, hunting for a rare 1977 D Jefferson nickel isn't just a hobby, it's a passion. The thrill of the chase, the satisfaction of discovery, and the joy of preserving a piece of American numismatic history keep this coin in the spotlight. Coin collecting has always been about curiosity, about uncovering stories hidden in metal, tracing the journey of a coin from mint to pocket, from circulation to collection, and that's exactly why the 1977 D nickel continues to captivate people around the world. It's not just about its 5-cent face value, it's about what lies beneath that simple denomination, a mix of history, rarity, craftsmanship, and luck. Even now, decades later, the possibility of finding one in mint condition or with a striking error still excites both novice and veteran collectors. If you ever decide to check your loose change, remember to look closely at every detail: the edges, the mint mark, the shine, and the texture. Because sometimes, a small difference can mean the world. The difference between an ordinary nickel and a highly valuable treasure might be as simple as one extra line on Monticello's steps or a tiny doubling on a letter. So next time you come across a 1977 D mint-marked Jefferson nickel, don't rush to spend it. Take a moment to observe it carefully. Examine Jefferson's portrait. Does it have sharp detail? Are the inscriptions crisp and bold? Do the steps of Monticello stand out clearly? If the answer is yes, you could be holding a rare gem in your hand, and even if it turns out to be an average circulated coin, it still holds a special place in the legacy of American currency, a symbol of an era when craftsmanship and precision mattered deeply. Collectors cherish this design because it bridges the past and present, an enduring tribute to both Thomas Jefferson and the artistry of American minting. From its debut in 1938 to the coins minted in 1977 and beyond, the Jefferson nickel remains an icon. Its design, history, and occasional rarity continue to keep it relevant in the collecting world. Whether it's a mint error, a pristine uncirculated example, or a perfectly struck piece with full steps, each one tells a different story. And for some collectors, that story can turn into a small fortune. After all, not every coin from 1977 carries a secret, but those that do can be worth a surprising amount. One such piece, in flawless condition and carrying exceptional detail, recently caught the attention of collectors and experts for its rarity and grade. Its value astonished many and reminded everyone that even the most common coins could hold hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. So keep your eyes open, your magnifying glass ready, and your curiosity alive. Because that ordinary-looking nickel in your hand might just be worth a collector's dream. And yes, one exceptionally rare 1977 D mint-marked Jefferson nickel, with all the right qualities, pristine condition, and perfect full steps, has been valued at an astonishing $49,777. In the world of American coin collecting, every coin tells a story, a small metallic relic that carries the whispers of a nation's history, economy, and craftsmanship. Some of these coins, however, hold secrets that go beyond their face value. One such hidden gem lies in the pockets of collectors and unsuspecting citizens alike. The United States of America 1978 No Mint Marked Jefferson Nickel Monticello 5-cent coin. To many people, it's just a common nickel, a piece of everyday change, easily overlooked and often tossed into a jar or vending machine. But for dedicated numismatists, the 1978 No Mint Marked Jefferson nickel represents far more than 5 cents. It's a fascinating window into the precision of the U.S. Mint, the beauty of American design, and the mysterious allure of mint errors and coin variations that can make an ordinary coin worth thousands of dollars. Let's dive deep into the story of this coin, its history, design, how to identify rare varieties, what makes some examples incredibly valuable, and why collectors continue to hunt for it more than 4 decades after its release. Our journey begins in the late 1970s. America was changing fast. New technologies, shifting politics, and an evolving culture marked the decade. In 1978, the Jefferson nickel continued to be a staple of American currency, circulating through every pocket and purse in the country. Designed by Felix Schlag, the coin had already become a symbol of American durability and pride since its first appearance in 1938. The obverse featured a dignified portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, while the reverse depicted his famous home, Monticello, located in Charlottesville, Virginia. The simplicity and strength of the design reflected Jefferson's legacy, a man who valued knowledge, architecture, and the principles of democracy. Over the years, Schlag's design had been slightly modified, but its essence remained untouched, standing as one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage history. Now, in 1978, the U.S. Mint produced Jefferson nickels at 2 primary locations, Denver and Philadelphia. The coins minted in Denver carried the DE Mint mark, while those from Philadelphia had no mint mark at all. However, it's the absence of that small letter, the missing mint mark, that gives the 1978 no mint mark Jefferson nickel its unique identity. You see, many casual collectors assume that a missing mint mark automatically means the coin is rare. In this case, however, the Philadelphia Mint intentionally produced coins without mint marks that year. But that doesn't mean all 1978 no mint mark nickels are created equal. While most are ordinary, circulated coins worth only face value, a small number stand out due to their exceptional quality, rare errors, and well-preserved conditions that elevate their value into the hundreds, even thousands, of dollars. Let's talk about what makes these coins so special. First, the condition of the coin plays a massive role. Coins are graded on a scale that runs from good to mint state. The highest grades, known as MS coins, are those that look nearly perfect, showing no signs of wear, scratches, or tarnish. A 1978 Jefferson nickel with sharp details, brilliant luster, and pristine surfaces can fetch significantly higher prices, especially when certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. The next factor is the presence of rare mint errors. These are coins that left the mint with production mistakes, and collectors absolutely love them. Some of the most sought-after 1978 Jefferson nickels feature off-center strikes, double dies, and planchet errors. An off-center strike happens when the coin blank is not properly aligned under the press during striking, resulting in a portion of the design being missing or shifted. The more dramatic the misalignment, the more valuable the coin becomes, particularly if the date is still visible. Double die errors, on the other hand, occur when the design is impressed twice on the coin, creating a shadow-like doubling effect on the letters or numbers. A noticeable doubling on Jefferson's profile, the word Liberty, or the date 1978, can drastically increase a coin's value. Then there are planchet errors, cases where the metal blank used to strike the coin is flawed, clipped, or struck on the wrong metal composition entirely. These rare defects can turn an ordinary 5-cent piece into a highly sought-after treasure. Another aspect that influences the 1978 no mint mark Jefferson nickel's worth is its strike quality. In the minting world, coins that display a strong, full strike, meaning every detail of Jefferson's hair, face, and Monticello's steps are sharply defined, are much more valuable than weakly struck examples. Collectors often refer to such coins as full steps, nickels, where all 6 steps of Monticello are clearly visible. Achieving a perfect, full steps designation is difficult, and that rarity drives demand among serious Jefferson nickel enthusiasts. Finding one of these full steps nickels from 1978 in mint condition is like discovering a diamond in a sea of pebbles. Most nickels from this year show heavy wear or poor strikes, making pristine examples almost non-existent in circulation today. Now, how can you tell if your 1978 Jefferson nickel is worth serious money? Here are a few key things to look for. First, examine the coin carefully under good lighting. Look closely at the steps of Monticello on the reverse side. Can you see all 6 lines clearly, without breaks or smudges? If so, your coin may qualify as a full step specimen. Next, inspect the surface. Does the coin have a bright, reflective finish with no scratches or dull spots? Coins with mirror-like luster often come from uncirculated rolls or proof sets, which are significantly more desirable. If you think you've found something special, consider sending it to a professional grading service for authentication and encapsulation. Grading not only verifies a coin's condition but also helps protect it from damage, boosting its resale value considerably. Many collectors who initially dismissed their nickels as pocket change later discovered they were sitting on a small fortune once their coins were graded and certified. The fascination with Jefferson nickels goes beyond their monetary value. Each coin captures a moment in America's minting history, a story of artistry, economy, and legacy. The 1978 no-mint mark nickel in particular reflects an era when the nation's coinage was transitioning, balancing modern minting technology with timeless design. Even though over 500 million nickels were struck that year, only a handful survive in exceptional condition. These are the coins that find their way into auctions and private collections, commanding jaw-dropping prices. And it's not just collectors in the United States who chase after these nickels. International numismatists also recognize their charm. The Jefferson nickel's distinctive portrait, combined with the elegance of Monticello, has earned it a place among the most recognized American coin designs worldwide. So the next time you're counting your change, don't ignore those dull, unassuming nickels. You might be holding on to something extraordinary, a coin that tells a story from another time, a piece of history waiting to be rediscovered. It's incredible to think that a small coin you could easily overlook might hold the power to surprise even the most seasoned collectors. Hidden within ordinary pocket change are rare treasures, coins that escape the mint's strict standards, coins that carry striking errors, coins that simply survive time untouched. Collectors and coin hunters across the country continue to search through rolls of nickels, hoping to stumble upon one of these rare gems. Some even dedicate years to finding the perfect Jefferson nickel with flawless full steps. The thrill of discovery, the allure of rarity, and the connection to history make the hunt truly timeless. The 1978 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel Monticello 5 cent is not just a coin, it's a reminder that beauty and value can hide in the most ordinary places. It represents a bridge between art and history, between craftsmanship and chance. Every time someone finds a mint-state example shining like new after decades in circulation, it reignites that excitement and curiosity that drives collectors to keep searching. And so, as you explore your own collection, keep an eye out for that unassuming nickel from 1978. Look at the details, the steps, the shine. Because beneath its modest surface could lie a hidden treasure, one that holds not only historical significance but also remarkable value. After all, in the fascinating world of coin collecting, it only takes one coin to change everything. And when it comes to this particular piece, the 1978 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel Monticello 5 cent, that single discovery could be worth an astonishing $33,766. In the vast history of American coinage, there are a few hidden treasures that go unnoticed by the average person. Small, shiny, and often overlooked, nickels have been jingling in the pockets of Americans for over 8 decades. Among them lies a quiet but astonishing discovery, the United States of America 1998 P-mint mark Jefferson nickel, featuring the famous Monticello design. While millions were struck, only a select few have captured the attention of collectors and historians alike for their extraordinary beauty, rarity, and minting errors that elevate their value to incredible heights. Today, we'll dive deep into the fascinating world of the 1998 P. Jefferson nickel, a coin that might just be hiding in your change jar or coin roll, waiting to reveal its hidden fortune. Get ready, because by the end of this video, you'll look at every nickel differently. The story of the 1998 P. Jefferson nickel begins in Philadelphia, the city of history, independence, and of course, coins. The P mint mark right beside the Monticello on the reverse side tells us that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1998, the mint produced millions of Jefferson nickels for general circulation. Most of them looked ordinary, a profile of Thomas Jefferson on the front and the Monticello building, his Virginia home, on the back. Yet, within these millions of nickels, a few rare varieties were created, either due to subtle errors in the minting process or special die characteristics that make them worth far more than their face value of just 5 cents. To truly appreciate the 1998 P. Jefferson nickel, we must go back to its origin. The Jefferson nickel design was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. It was a proud tribute to the third President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, who was not only a founding father but also an architect, philosopher, and writer of the Declaration of Independence. His stately home, Monticello, graces the reverse side of the coin. Designed by Felix Schlag, the Jefferson nickel remained unchanged for decades, becoming a familiar sight in American wallets and cash registers. By 1998, the Jefferson nickel had already been circulating for 60 years, but collectors still paid close attention to certain mint years, and for good reason. Some years, like 1998, produced rare die varieties and minting errors that dramatically increased their collectible value. These varieties often included double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and full-step nickels, the most sought after among collectors. Let's talk about the term full steps, because it's the key that unlocks the value of many Jefferson nickels. When examining the Monticello on the reverse side, look closely at the staircase leading up to the building. If all 5 or 6 steps are clearly visible and sharply defined, the coin earns the title of a full steps nickel. This level of detail is difficult to achieve because even a slightly weak strike can blur or flatten the steps. That's why Jefferson nickels with full steps are so desirable. They demonstrate an exceptionally strong and precise strike, and collectors are willing to pay high prices for them. Now, most 1998 P nickels show soft or incomplete steps due to wear, die fatigue, or striking pressure. However, a few coins struck under ideal conditions came out with crisp, full steps and beautiful luster, a combination that instantly boosts their value from mere cents to hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But that's not the only thing that makes the 1998 P nickel special. There are a few remarkable mint errors that make these coins even more valuable. Some of the known errors include off-center strikes where the design is misaligned, broad strikes that make the coin look stretched, and double die obverse or reverse errors where the image or lettering appears doubled. These mistakes occur during the minting process and are extremely rare, making such coins highly prized in the collector's market. Imagine finding one of these rare nickels in your coin jar, a small piece of metal that was accidentally struck twice, or one that reveals doubled letters in the word Monticello, or E pluribus unum. These tiny imperfections are what transform an ordinary nickel into a valuable collector's item. Condition, of course, plays an enormous role in determining value. Coin collectors use a grading scale from poor P1 to mint state MS-70. For the 1998 P. Jefferson nickel, circulated examples might only be worth their face value, but uncirculated examples, especially those graded MS-65 and above, can bring impressive prices. A brilliant uncirculated 1998 P nickel with strong details, full steps, and no scratches or wear can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. And then there are the proofs. While Philadelphia primarily struck circulation nickels, special collector's proof versions were minted in San Francisco with the S mint mark. However, there are instances where proof dies or planchets were mistakenly used in circulation, and these rare crossover examples can be incredibly valuable. Now, let's pause for a moment and think about how coins like this slip through the cracks of history. Most of us handle coins every day without a second glance, tossing them in a drawer, dropping them into vending machines, or forgetting them at the bottom of a car cup holder. Yet, every once in a while, someone pays attention. They spot something different, a small detail, a sharper strike, a cleaner finish, and they realize what they're holding isn't just change, but a piece of hidden treasure. There have been countless stories of people finding rare coins in the most unexpected places. A man in Pennsylvania once discovered a rare full-step Jefferson nickel while sorting through an old coffee can of coins he'd saved from the 1990s. Another collector found a nearly flawless 1998 nickel in a roll purchased from the bank. Both of these finds sold for impressive amounts, turning what seemed like pocket change into serious profit. That's the beauty of coin collecting. It's a world of history, art, and luck all rolled into one. Every coin has a story to tell, about when it was made, how it was used, and how it survived the decades. The Jefferson nickel, with its depiction of a founding father and an iconic American home, represents a bridge between the past and the present. And the 1998 nickel, in particular, carries the potential of unexpected value that continues to fascinate collectors around the world. When examining your own nickels, here's what you should look for. First, the mint mark. If you see the letter P to the right of Monticello on the back, you have a Philadelphia coin. Next, check for sharpness and detail, especially in Jefferson's hair and the steps of Monticello. If you can see all 5 or 6 steps clearly, you might have a full steps coin. Finally, examine the surface under a bright light. Look for mirror-like luster, die cracks, or doubling in the text. Even small anomalies can dramatically increase value. Coin grading companies like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, have certified a handful of 1998 Jefferson nickels with near-perfect grades. These coins, graded between MS-67 and MS-68 with full steps, have stunned collectors with their immaculate preservation. Such examples are often sold in major auctions and online marketplaces, fetching 4-figure prices. The next time you come across a handful of nickels, take a closer look. That plain-looking coin could be far more than meets the eye. Perhaps it's one of the few 1998 Jefferson nickels that escaped the mint in flawless condition. Perhaps it has full steps, or a rare doubling, or an error that slipped unnoticed for decades. You might be holding a small piece of numismatic history, a coin worth far more than its modest 5-cent face value. Collectors and historians alike cherish these discoveries because they remind us that even in something as common as a nickel, there can be extraordinary value. Each coin tells a story of America, of the craftsmanship of the mint, the legacy of Jefferson, and the enduring appeal of collecting. So, before you toss your next nickel into a coin jar or spend it at the store, take a second to inspect it. Because one of those small silver coins might just be your lucky find. The United States of America 1998 mint marked Jefferson nickel is proof that sometimes the greatest treasures come in the smallest forms. And yes, believe it or not, one stunning example of this 1998 Jefferson nickel Monticello 5-cent coin in pristine mint state condition was once sold for an astonishing $29,555. Welcome to World Information HD, the channel where hidden treasures, rare coins, and amazing discoveries come to life. In today's video, we're diving deep into a fascinating piece of modern American coinage, the 2007 mint marked Jefferson nickel, featuring the timeless Monticello design. It might look like just another ordinary 5-cent piece resting in your pocket or coin jar, but this coin has a story worth telling. Some of these nickels, believe it or not, are worth far more than face value, and one extraordinary example even sold for a stunning price you'll hear at the end of this video. So sit tight, because what you're about to learn might just make you want to check every nickel you own. Let's begin with the basics. The Jefferson nickel has been one of America's most beloved coins since its first release in 1938. Designed by Felix Schlag, it replaced the Buffalo nickel, and its design features Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, and Jefferson's Monticello home on the reverse. Over time, this design has seen small updates, but its core identity, a tribute to Jefferson's vision and legacy, has remained a constant reminder of American history. The year 2007 marked the continuation of the modernized version of the Jefferson nickel that began in 2006. After the temporary Westward Journey series, which depicted scenes of exploration and discovery, the U.S. Mint decided to restore the Monticello design, but with a fresh, sharper appearance. On the 2007 version, Jefferson's portrait faces forward, directly at the viewer, a design introduced just a year earlier. This forward-facing image gives the coin a lifelike, almost presidential authority, a modern touch to a classic look. Now, let's talk about the mint mark. The P Mint mark you'll see on this coin stands for the Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most historically important mints in the United States. Philadelphia nickels are known for their precision, and in 2007, millions of Jefferson nickels rolled out of the presses there. In fact, over 450 million nickels were minted that year at the Philadelphia facility alone. With so many made, it might seem impossible that any of them could be valuable. But as you'll see, rarity isn't always about how many were struck. Sometimes, it's about the hidden details that escape the eye. You see, not all nickels are created equal. Tiny differences, things like misaligned dies, double strikes, planchet errors, or weak strikes, can turn an everyday coin into a collector's dream. The 2007 P. Jefferson nickel has become especially interesting to collectors because a few examples from that year have been discovered with rare minting errors and unique die varieties. Let's take a closer look at what to watch for. First, examine the obverse, where Jefferson's face is centered. On certain 2007 P nickels, you may notice doubling, known in the hobby as a double die. Doubling can often be seen on Jefferson's eye, mouth, or the lettering of the word Liberty. If your coin displays even a slight doubling effect, you could be holding something that's worth dozens or even hundreds of dollars depending on its condition and demand. Another interesting error to look for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned in the press, causing part of the design to be missing or pushed toward one side. The more off-center the strike, the rarer and more valuable it becomes, especially if the date and mint mark are still visible. There are also die cracks, small raised lines on the coin caused by a damaged die during production. Some collectors find these appealing because they make each coin visually unique. On the 2007 P. Jefferson nickel, these cracks have been found running through Jefferson's hair or around the Monticello building, creating fascinating varieties that spark collector interest. But aside from errors, condition plays an enormous role in determining a coin's value. This is where coin grading comes into play. Professional grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, evaluate coins based on strike quality, luster, and preservation. Coins graded at the highest levels, MS67, MS68, or beyond, can command premium prices because they are nearly flawless examples of mint craftsmanship. If you have a 2007 P. Jefferson nickel that's never been circulated, meaning it has no wear and still shines with its original mint luster, it's already worth more than its face value to many collectors. A brilliant uncirculated example might sell for a few dollars, while a perfectly graded coin in mint state can bring in much higher prices, especially if it's certified by a respected grading company. Let's talk about design details for a moment. On the reverse of this nickel, you'll see Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia estate. It's a masterpiece of American architecture and a symbol of his creative and intellectual spirit. The word Monticello appears clearly beneath the image, followed by 5 cents and United States of America. Around the top, the phrase E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, represents the unity of the American people. It's these timeless inscriptions and designs that give coins like this their enduring appeal to collectors. The obverse, as mentioned earlier, features a forward-facing portrait of Jefferson, introduced in 2006 and carried through to 2007. Look closely at the details in his eyes, his hair, and the subtle curvature of his face. The craftsmanship is truly remarkable. The word Liberty, in Jefferson's own handwriting style, appears beside his portrait, while the date and mint mark are just below. Every detail of this coin tells a story of evolution in American coin artistry. Now, you might be wondering, if hundreds of millions of these nickels were made, what makes some of them so valuable? It all comes down to rarity within perfection. Among the millions produced, only a tiny fraction come out without even the slightest imperfection, no bag marks, no scratches, no weak spots. Finding such a coin is like finding a flawless diamond in a sea of stones. And that's exactly what collectors crave. To put this into perspective, let's talk about a few real-world examples. There have been reports of 2007 P. Jefferson nickels graded at near-perfect levels, MS67 or higher, selling for hundreds of dollars in certified auctions. But the real treasures are those rare specimens that combine top-grade condition with an unusual minting anomaly or error. These are the coins that break records, surprise collectors, and turn ordinary pocket change into something truly extraordinary. When it comes to the market for Jefferson nickels, there's been a steady rise in interest over the last few years. Younger collectors, as well as seasoned numismatists, are recognizing the beauty and historical value of these modern issues. The 2007 P. Jefferson nickel stands out because it represents the modern phase of American minting, clean, refined, and symbolically rich. As collectors hunt for the finest examples to complete their sets, values continue to climb for high-quality and error-free coins. So, what should you do if you think you might have one? Start by inspecting your coin under a bright light. Use a magnifying glass to check for doubling, die cracks, or any signs of an off-center strike. If your coin looks unusually sharp or pristine, consider sending it to a professional grading service. Even if it costs a small fee, grading can dramatically increase the coin's market value, and it gives you the satisfaction of knowing exactly what you own. Collectors often say that every coin tells a story, and this one certainly does. The 2007 P. Jefferson nickel represents a blend of modern technology and historical continuity. It's a reminder that even the smallest things, like a 5-cent piece, carry a legacy of artistry, innovation, and American pride. Every time you hold one in your hand, you're holding a piece of that story. And who knows? The next time you're counting change or emptying your wallet, that plain-looking nickel could be worth far more than you think. Always remember, the beauty of coin collecting lies in discovery, and the thrill of finding a rare gem hidden in everyday life. So, check your jars, search through your rolls, and don't overlook the little details. Because among those billions of nickels, a few stand out as treasures beyond imagination. One such rare 2007 P. mint-marked Jefferson nickel, in pristine mint state and near perfect condition, once fetched an incredible price of $17,776. Now imagine that, a 5-cent coin turning into a small fortune. That's the magic of numismatics, the world where history, beauty, and value collide. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to World Information HD for more fascinating stories about rare coins, hidden treasures, and the history behind American currency. Turn on the notifications so you never miss an update, and remember, the next valuable coin could already be in your pocket. The Jefferson nickel is one of the most beloved coins in United States history, a small yet powerful piece of metal that has carried the nation's image, values, and pride since 1938. Among its many variations, the 2017 P. mint-marked Jefferson nickel stands out for its unique place in modern American coinage. At first glance, it looks like any other nickel you'd find in your pocket change, featuring the familiar image of Thomas Jefferson and his historic Monticello home. But for collectors and coin hunters, this particular nickel tells a story far deeper than what meets the eye. Today, we'll explore the fascinating background, minting details, errors, rarity, and the shocking value of the 2017 P. Jefferson nickel, a 5-cent coin that could be worth far more than you imagined. Let's start with a bit of history. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel that had circulated for 25 years. The design was created by artist Felix Schlag, who chose to feature Thomas Jefferson, one of America's founding fathers and the third President of the United States, on the obverse side, with Jefferson's famous home, Monticello, on the reverse. This design became an enduring symbol of American heritage, representing both the strength of leadership and the architectural beauty of the nation's early years. For decades, the Jefferson nickel went through minor updates and changes. But in 2017, something truly remarkable happened in the world of U.S. coinage. The Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most prestigious mints in America, added a P. mint mark to the nickel for the very first time in history. Before that year, nickels minted in Philadelphia carried no mint mark at all. This change made the 2017 Jefferson nickel historically significant, not because of an error, but because it represented the 225th anniversary of the United States Mint itself. To commemorate this milestone, the Mint made a decision that surprised collectors. They placed a P. on the obverse side of the Jefferson nickel, right next to the portrait of Jefferson. This was the first and only time in the coin's long-running history that Philadelphia's mint mark was featured on a regular circulating nickel. Because of that, the 2017 P nickel instantly became a collector's favorite. Let's talk about the design details. The obverse side of the 2017 nickel displays a sharp, modern portrait of Thomas Jefferson. This updated design, first introduced in 2006, captures Jefferson's gaze looking forward with confidence, a symbol of enlightenment and progress. To the right of his profile, you'll see the word, Liberty, in Jefferson's own handwriting, along with the date, 2017, and the unique P mint mark that makes this coin so special. Below that, the famous motto, "In God We Trust," is etched in bold letters. Flip the coin over, and you're greeted by the timeless image of Monticello, Jefferson's grand Virginia estate. The intricate architectural details are beautifully captured, from the columns to the dome, symbolizing Jefferson's vision of balance, structure, and innovation. The reverse also bears the inscriptions, E pluribus unum, Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. Now you might be wondering, how many of these coins were made, and why are they valuable? The 2017 P. Jefferson nickel had a massive mintage of more than 915 million coins, which means it's not exactly rare in terms of how many were produced. But here's where things get interesting. Even though millions were made, collectors and dealers immediately began saving them due to their unique P mint mark and historical importance. Many people didn't realize that 2017 would be the only year this would happen. In 2018, the Philadelphia Mint returned to producing nickels without a mint mark. Because of that, uncirculated and pristine examples of the 2017 P nickel began to gain attention. Most circulated coins are worth face value, of course, but those in mint state condition, coins that have never been used and remain flawless, are what collectors seek. Coin grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, have certified thousands of these coins in various grades. A coin graded MS65 or MS66 can fetch a few dollars, while an example graded MS67 or higher can reach surprising amounts. The reason is simple: finding a perfectly struck spot-free nickel from circulation is not easy. However, the most exciting stories come from error coins and high-grade specimens. Some 2017 P nickels were struck with unusual die breaks, doubling, or off-center strikes, minting mistakes that make these coins rare treasures. One popular variety is the doubled die obverse, where Jefferson's I or the word, Liberty, appears doubled. These coins are exceptionally valuable to collectors, especially when certified by a reputable grading service. Another fascinating error involves the off-center strike, where part of the design is missing or misaligned due to the coin not being perfectly centered during striking. Depending on how much of the design is off-center, these coins can sell for impressive sums. Even more dramatic are clipped planchet errors, where a small portion of the coin's edge is missing, creating a crescent-like appearance. In recent years, coin enthusiasts have also found full-step varieties, referring to the clear and complete lines on the steps of the Monticello building. These full steps coins are highly desirable because they demonstrate a perfect strike, no wear, no blur, no weakness in detail. Collectors often pay a premium for Jefferson nickels with fully visible steps, especially from key years like 2017. Beyond technical details, the 2017 P nickel has sentimental and historical value. It marked 225 years of the U.S. Mint's continuous operation, a legacy that began back in 1792. That year, the first mint building in Philadelphia started striking coins for a new nation. The 2017 nickel symbolizes that journey, from hand-struck silver coins of the 18th century to the high-speed presses of the modern era. Another element that makes this coin even more appealing is its connection to everyday Americans. The 2017 P nickel wasn't just made for collectors, it was meant for circulation. That means countless people unknowingly spent and received a piece of numismatic history in their daily lives, at grocery stores, gas stations, and coffee shops, without realizing they were handling a historic coin that represented a once-in-a-lifetime change. For new coin hunters, this nickel serves as an exciting entry point into the world of numismatics. You could easily check your pocket change or coin jar and stumble upon a 2017 nickel. Most will be worth face value, but the real thrill lies in finding one that's in mint condition or displays an error. Collectors all over the country still search through bank rolls and coin boxes hoping to find a gem-quality specimen that could bring them an unexpected profit. And let's not forget the emotional side of coin collecting. For many Americans, nickels like this carry memories of grandparents saving coins in jars, of children learning history through pocket change, of collectors connecting generations through something as small and simple as a 5-cent piece. The 2017 nickel captures that nostalgia perfectly, a reminder that even modern coins can tell stories as rich as the ones from a century ago. Over time, as more of these nickels get worn out or lost, the number of high-quality examples will naturally decline. That's why now is the best time to hold on to any pristine 2017 nickels you find. Future collectors will surely value them even more, especially when they realize that this was a one-year-only design change that has never been repeated. When it comes to investment potential, it's always best to get your coins graded and authenticated by a trusted company. The grade of the coin, determined by its luster, strike, and surface condition, can make a huge difference in value. Some lucky collectors have sold rare 2017 Jefferson nickels in top condition for hundreds, even thousands of dollars, especially when combined with visible errors or full-step details. The market for Jefferson nickels has remained strong over the years because they represent both history and accessibility. They're affordable for beginners yet full of hidden treasures for experts. The 2017 nickel, in particular, sits right at the crossroads of modern history and collectible rarity, a combination that guarantees its place in the spotlight for decades to come. So, next time you get change back from a purchase, take a close look at your nickels. Check the date. If it says 2017 and carries that small P mint mark beside Jefferson's portrait, you might just be holding something more valuable than you think. Keep an eye out for perfect condition examples or those with unusual errors. You could be in for a pleasant surprise. Welcome to World Information HD, your ultimate destination for uncovering rare and hidden treasures from the world of United States coins. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that might just be sitting unnoticed in your pocket change, the 2021 D-Mint Mark Jefferson Nickel Monticello 5-cent coin. Don't underestimate its power just because it's new or shiny, because some of these coins are already turning heads in the coin collecting world and fetching staggering prices in auctions. So sit tight, because by the end of this video, you might be checking your coins twice before spending them. The Jefferson nickel has a long and fascinating history dating back to 1938. It replaced the Buffalo nickel and was designed by sculptor Felix Schlag, who created the familiar image of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse side and Jefferson's Virginia home, Monticello, on the reverse. For over 8 decades, this design has become an icon of American coinage, representing both tradition and artistry. But what makes the 2021 D. Jefferson nickel special isn't just its design, it's the details, minting errors, and striking variations that can make it worth far more than its face value. Let's begin with the basics. The 2021 D. Jefferson nickel was struck at the Denver Mint, indicated by the small letter D on the right side of Jefferson's portrait. Most of these coins entered circulation like any other nickel, but as collectors have learned, not all coins are created equal. Some have microscopic differences or striking mistakes that turn them from ordinary change into small fortunes. When it comes to modern coins like the 2021 D nickel, what collectors look for are errors, die varieties, condition, and rarity. Even though millions were minted, the value skyrockets when a coin has something unique about it, a small minting flaw, an unusual color tone, or perfect preservation. Let's look closely at what could make a 2021 D nickel valuable. First, there's minting quality. The Denver Mint is known for its precision, but no minting process is flawless. Sometimes coins are struck off-center, or the dies that imprint the design wear down unevenly, creating double dies, where part of the image appears duplicated. These small imperfections might look minor to the untrained eye, but to numismatists, they can mean the difference between 5 cents and thousands of dollars. Imagine finding a 2021 D nickel with a strong double die on the word Liberty, or Jefferson's eye showing doubling under magnification. That's not damage, that's a collectible error. Or, perhaps, the coin was struck slightly off-center, leaving part of the design missing along the edge. These are the kinds of coins that make collectors race to auctions. Another factor that adds value is condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, known as the Sheldon scale. A coin graded at MS70, meaning mint state perfect, shows no flaws under 5x magnification. These are incredibly rare, especially for coins that have entered circulation. Even an MS67 or MS68 grade can fetch a huge premium at auction because it indicates exceptional preservation. Collectors love coins that shine as if they just left the mint, often with what's called full steps on Monticello, meaning all 6 steps on the building's front are clearly defined. Most nickels lose detail because of weak strikes or wear, but those that display every crisp line are in a league of their own. The full steps designation can boost the value by hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now, let's talk about what really excites collectors: rare die varieties. Sometimes, 2 dies clash together without a planchet, blank coin, between them, leaving faint mirrored images of the design on the dies themselves. When coins are struck afterward, these markings transfer onto them, creating die clash errors. A 2021 D nickel with a visible die clash, especially across Jefferson's profile or Monticello's dome, becomes instantly collectible. Other rare varieties include cuds, where a piece of the die breaks off, leaving a raised blob of metal on the coin's surface, or die cracks, which look like fine lightning bolts running through the design. These small flaws tell the story of the minting process and are highly sought after by collectors who appreciate the uniqueness of each coin. But it's not just about errors. Some 2021 D Jefferson nickels are valuable simply because they are beautifully struck and preserved. Coin roll hunters and collectors constantly search new rolls from banks, hoping to find pristine examples. When they do, they often send them for grading to professional services like NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, or PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service. These organizations certify coins, assigning grades that authenticate and increase their market value. Imagine finding a shiny 2021 D nickel with no scratches, no blemishes, and sharp details. You send it for grading, and it comes back as MS68 full steps. Suddenly, that 5-cent coin could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on collector demand. Collectors also love toned nickels, coins that have developed rainbow-like colors over time due to chemical reactions with air. While some might think it's damage, these natural toning patterns can make a coin look stunning and unique. A vividly toned 2021 D nickel with blues, golds, and purples shimmering under light can command a premium far beyond its face value. Let's not forget about the historical context. The year 2021 marked the ongoing use of Schlag's timeless design before the nickel saw small design modifications in later issues. It's part of a long-running American tradition, connecting modern coins with nearly a century of numismatic history. Now, where can these coins be found? The exciting part is that the 2021 D Jefferson nickel is still young and can be found in everyday circulation. Whether in your spare change, at the grocery store, or in coin rolls from your local bank, these coins are out there waiting to be discovered. Many people unknowingly spend rare-era nickels without realizing their hidden value. So, check every coin carefully, especially under bright light or a magnifying glass. Let's take a closer look at some of the most valuable examples that have surfaced so far. In several coin forums and auctions, collectors have reported 2021 D nickels with off-center strikes, die cracks across Monticello, and strong double dies that fetched impressive prices. A few graded MS68 with full steps by PCGS have reached eye-catching figures at auctions, showing that even a modern coin can surprise you. Even if you don't have a high-grade example, keep in mind that era coins and unique varieties often gain value over time. As years pass, fewer pristine 2021 D nickels remain in circulation. Collectors and investors understand that coins from the early 2020s might become the future rarities of the century. Just like the 1950 nickel or the 1939 double die, these modern mint errors could turn into legendary finds decades later. That's why now is the perfect time to start checking your pocket change, coin rolls, and even those jars of coins sitting around at home. You never know when luck might strike. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story is worth a fortune. To protect your valuable nickels, handle them with clean cotton gloves to prevent oils from damaging their surface. Store them in airtight holders or coin flips, and if you believe your coin might be a rare variety or mint error, consider getting it professionally graded. This not only authenticates it but also makes it easier to sell or display in your collection. So, the next time you receive change and see a shiny 2021 Jefferson nickel, don't just toss it aside. Take a moment to admire the craftsmanship, the history behind Jefferson's portrait, and the possibility that you might be holding something truly special. Who knows? That small piece of metal could be your ticket to an incredible discovery. Every coin collector's journey starts with curiosity, and sometimes, the most ordinary-looking coins hide the greatest secrets. Whether it's a die clash, double strike, full steps, or a flawless mint state example, these details transform simple nickels into valuable treasures of American history. And now, for the part you've been waiting for. Among the most impressive recorded examples of the 2021 mint marked Jefferson nickel Monticello 5-cent coin. One spectacular specimen was sold to a private collector for a jaw-dropping amount. That gleaming coin, graded to perfection with full steps and stunning visual appeal, was auctioned for an astounding $49,266. Yes, a simple 5-cent coin reaching nearly $50,000 in value. That's the magic of coin collecting, turning history, rarity, and curiosity into something truly priceless. So, check your coins, treasure your finds, and keep exploring the hidden gems of American coinage. Because in the world of numismatics, every coin has a story, and sometimes, that story can change your life.